Over a week ago, Bandai tweeted that there will be a ban/restriction list coming mid-January, and needless to say, the community had some opinions and some of them were a bit wacky. But finally, yesterday, Bandai has officially released the ban/restriction list, and this one's a doozy. Hi, my name is Ty. We're talking card games. This is your first time at the channel. Here at We're Talking Card Games, we talk about card games. If it's shiny and it's on cardboard, we're probably going to talk about it. If you find any of this information useful or informative, please give it a like, and if you like, this type of content, maybe think about subscribing. Without further ado, let's get into this ban list. It's official. Digimon finally has a banned card. This is the first one in the game's history, and it's Mega Digimon Fusion. This card came out in BT5, and at the time, it was used in like Lilith loops and things like that, but it wasn't ever a card that was a problem. It allows you to evolve from your level 6 to a level 7 for pretty much no memory. And then at the end of the turn, you have to delete it, or you send it to the bottom of your deck. So at the time when this card was released, there was only 3 white Tamers at the time. There was Takumi, Nokia, and Matt and Tai. Nokia and Matt and Tai kind of played into that Omnimon vibe, which that's what this card was kind of going for when it was created. In the EX-01, there will be a new Tamer coming out called Analog Boy. Pretty much the most universal Tamer you can throw in any deck. On play, lets you look at the top 3 cards, take a Digimon card, and if you have a level 5 or higher, you can hatch one of your Digimon eggs. This card can get put in any deck, and it's only a 2 cost. But the real reason why this card ended up becoming a little overpowered and busted was with the addition of Susamon. So Susamon is a hybrid. It's like plays into the hybrid style deck. It comes out in BT7. With Mega Digimon Fusion, you're able to evolve into a Susamon for 1 memory, and what Susamon does is secure attack +2, and it removes one of your opponent's Digimon off the field. It deletes it. Doesn't even remove it. It deletes it. So that's pretty problematic because it messes with the flow of the game. It's too quick. It doesn't allow other players to react to it. It's just like, oh hey, look, I have nothing. I only have white Tamers out. Boom, now I got a level 7 on the field, and I can swing for 3 checks and deleting one of your Digimon. So banning the card makes sense because most decks that played this card ran out of 1 or 2. Why it's good they banned it is it's a problematic card for the sense of, for the developers in making more cards in the future, they have to play around it for the level 7s. But if they ban it, they don't have to worry about it. A lot of people always compare the two, Mega Digimon Fusion, HPD. Why did HPD get limited and Mega Digimon Fusion got banned? Well, the difference is pretty simple. Hidden Potential Discovered really only works with green, and green hasn't been controlling the meta in a while. So it doesn't really affect the game. Like, getting Hidden Potential in your hand when you're playing green, it's like a power play move. You get once, you get to do it. But with Mega Digimon Fusion, you get that card in your hand, you're winning. Doesn't matter. You're not always going to win Hidden Potential, but it can help you win. But Mega Digimon Fusion seems like it's a card that is very problematic, especially in the Japanese meta. That's why it's being hit and banned, because it's just a problematic card, and I don't really mind it. I never used it, so it's not like, oh my gosh. But I also think it's gonna hurt decks like Lilith Loop. Now they won't be able to do their whole mechanic, which kind of stinks. But maybe in the future they could do like, you can't play Mega Digimon Fusion and Susamon, like they can't be in the same deck together, but you can still use it. Who knows? Only time will tell. Now we're on to the restricted. So the first restricted card that Bandai has officially announced is Reinforced Memory Boost. What this card does, you pay 6 memory, you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, you get to add one of them to the top of your security, and then the other one, I believe it goes to the bottom. Nope, I'm sorry, it goes into your hand. So you get a card in your hand, and you get to put a card in your security, pretty much stacking your security. And it has a delayed effect that you can gain 3 memory. This is a stronger card than most of the other memory boosts, and it actually is the same memory as another yellow card that lets you take the top card of the deck and put it on your top of your security. This is one of those things where a lot of security control, they use that a lot, and as it seems, D Reaper, which isn't really out yet for the English meta, but security control is, so I understand that one. This card, it's good at a 1-of, because if you got rid of it entirely, you don't get the kind of stinks. This is like a waste of a card, but doing this skill once, I don't think was damaging to the game at all. So I think it's great. It's at 1. And if you think of any of these cards, you think, oh, they need to be, what's your opinion on it? Please comment down below. It'd be kind of cool to hear what you guys feeling. So next card that is restricted comes out in EX 1, and that is Ice Wall. Ice Wall, you pay 1 memory, and then all your opponent's next turn lose 2 memory if they attack. It's a good stall card. That was the original intent for it, but they didn't realize that now you can stack that ability. So if you had 2 of them in hand, you could play both. So if they attack once, it will automatically pass turn, or it would cost them 4 memory to pass, and that could possibly pass turn. It ended up making it so if you had 4 of it in your deck, your opponent couldn't play, they couldn't do anything. Kind of every time if they attacked, they'd pass turn, and then if they just played Digimon, they weren't doing damage, so they weren't furthering their progression and winning the game. It was meant to be a stall card, and at 4 of it's a little overpowered, but I think at 1 of it's great because it's a good stall card. It's a good defensive card, and like I know blue will use this still at 1, and I think that's good. Doing it once isn't bad, but doing it 4 times, that could be a problem. And I didn't even talk about its security. And if it's in security, you gain 2 memory, like Hammer Spark. So blue decks would have had 4 technical possible Hammer Sparks in security. Now they only can have 5. So I'm fine with this. I would have definitely used this at a 4 of in my Imperial Digimon deck, but I'm gonna definitely put it as a 1-of for sure. All right. So all of these banned / restricted cards are going to come into effect February 25th. So that's when all of this happens. So you still have time to use these cards at their full potential. So if you got Lilithloop, definitely get your Lilithloop in, because you won't be able to do it again. So get it in for sure. The next, and judging by the date, that is supposed to be around the pre-release of BT7. So you get an idea for English. So the next cards that were restricted, that's happening in April, pretty much before the pre-release of BT8, and that is the first one we're going to talk about is Savior Huckmon. Now that's at a 1-of. That hurts Jesmon decks so much, because this is the core mechanic of Jesmon. This allows you to attack twice per turn, like in the same turn. Pretty much making this card to 1 kills the OTK Jesmon. I get why they did it. This card came out in BT6, and it's still top of the meta, and they're, way farther along in Japan than we are. So if this card, they expected to have a power creep, and it never happened. And pretty much this only limits red players, especially competitive ones, to only run with Jesmon and not try out any of the new red cards that come out in the future. So limiting to 1 kind of like dies the hype down in a sense. I think this is good because all this will do is make the real the true lovers of Jesmon be able to they'll work around it and make the deck work. But the people who are riding the it's the best deck in the format train are gonna move on to something else. So my predictions with Savior Huckmon and Jesmon's future in the meta is that Jesmon's gonna kind of go into a more control style game, which I'm actually down for because it has piercing, it gets a lot of DP boost, and with Judgment of the Blade, you're able to attack unsuspended Digimon. So I feel that Jesmon's future is going to definitely be control based, which is going to be super cool. It'll be nice to see a red control that still does a ton of damage. So I'm down for it. I have Jesmon. I have a Jesmon deck. I have it built. It's fun. A little too OTK-ish for my taste, but you can't deny how good it is. So putting this to 1, you can still possibly do it, but it's not guaranteed like it always is. Pretty much how Jesmon operated was you either bricked or you won, and there was no in between. You didn't have a close game. It was either you bricked or you won because of this card. So limiting to 1, I think, will be good for the foreseeable future. The next card is Eisemond. This one comes out in BT7. You know, clearly English BT6. I've never used this card ever, but you know, reading what it does, you know, it lets you, you know, if you ever, for purple, if you don't know, purple always trashes cards. That's kind of like their thing. They draw and they trash. They mill their deck. And all their kind of mechanics work around that feature. So this card plays into that. But what it allows you to do is it allows you, if you discard this through that type of style of you're discarding a card to draw a card, then you can play this card for free. So you get to play a level 4 for free. In BT8, there's a card called Eisemond that comes out. It does DNA Digivolving. DNA Digivolving is a new feature that's coming out for that set. And it pretty much allows you, if you have like 2 level 4s, you can go into a level 5 for free. They like combine type deal, you know. And so this allows you to just do the common thing purple does by discarding to draw, and allows you to bring out level 4s and then go into a level 5 for free and then go into a level 6. It really is a very turbo. And having it a 4 literally you'll do that all the time. So I can see why they limited this to 1. Kind of what I'm getting the vibe with Eisemond is it's pretty much like purple's Argo level 5. You know, you're able to play it out or evolve into it for free. You know, you get to and go into your next level 6. It lets you turbo the deck a little too quick, so when there's 4 of it, the other decks can't compete. And usually it's like there's a difference in skill level that makes it so a deck is good, and there's when it's just the mechanics of the game make it impossible to play around. So I think that's why they restricted this, and I think it's a good idea. I didn't get to experience this in full force, and I don't think I will. Or actually, yeah, I will for one set. So I don't play purple, but I know how purple core mechanics go. They're kind of like bring stuff back from the dead, use the graveyards type stuff like that. So I can see why they did it, and yeah. So that's it. That is the ban/restriction list that's going to be happening. I'm going to throw the dates here. I'm going to be throwing the dates here, showing when exactly everything is going to be in full effect. So if you play these cards, you like to play these cards, definitely use them before, you know, they're cut down in their prime. You know, I started the game, and green was already hit, so I never got to experience the Argo and the hidden potential of full force. So I'm definitely gonna try to hop on this train before it all ends, you know. My final like thoughts about this is I don't have a problem with any of these cards. Like, everything here makes sense to why they did it. I know a lot of people on the internet get you know, upset because, you know, it hurts their deck, or, you know, and I mean, you just have to work around it, and it's going to make deck building way more unique. And what I've noticed with this game is if you like cards that get banned or, you know, restricted, that happens when you're able to evolve into it for cheap or play it for free. When you're pretty much evolving and playing Digimon for free, and it's too easy to do that, like the, you know, stipulations for it, the requirements to do that process is too easy. That's when it usually warrants, you know, a restriction. If you found any of this information informative, please give it a like, subscribe if you're new. Yeah, stay tuned for more Digimon content in the near future. I'm gonna try to be doing more deck lists and your gameplay footage, so if you're interested in all that stuff, definitely hit the subscribe button. Like if you found any of this information useful. And yeah, my name is Ty, and we just talked card games. Peace.